Based on the historical data and forecast, Bitcoin shows an overall upward trend, consistently testing and bouncing off the support price of $103,200. The RSI values have fluctuated, but generally remained within the 50 to 60 range, indicating neither extreme oversold nor overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been widening recently, suggesting increased volatility and potential for price movement. The forecast for the next week predicts a continued upward trajectory, with prices ranging from $109,300 to $110,700. Therefore, I recommend a long position strategy. We will use a combined RSI and Bollinger Bands approach. Specifically, I suggest entering a long position at $109,300. The stop loss should be set at $108,800 to protect against a sudden downturn. The initial target price is $110,600, aligning with the forecast high and the upper Bollinger Band. If the price reaches the target, we will consider moving the stop loss to break even to secure profits and potentially ride the trend further. This strategy aims to capitalize on the predicted upward momentum while managing risk through strategic stop-loss placement. The RSI is not at an oversold level, but the Bollinger Band suggests a potential for further upward movement. Based on the historical data and forecast, Ethereum exhibits an overall upward trend. The price has been fluctuating within the range of $2,400 to $2,610 over the past 2 weeks, with a recent push towards the upper resistance level of $2,680. The RSI values are generally between 46 and 58, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been widening recently, suggesting increased volatility. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position strategy. We should enter a long position at $2,610. Set a stop-loss order at $2,540, which aligns with the established support level. The initial target price should be $2,670, based on the resistance level and the forecast price for July 15, 2025. To refine the strategy, we can incorporate the RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the price retraces to the lower Bollinger Band, around $2,270, and the RSI falls below 30, indicating an oversold condition, we can consider entering a long position at $2,270. In this scenario, set a stop loss at $2,180 and a target price at $2,500. Conversely, if the price reaches the upper Bollinger Band, around $2,650, and the RSI exceeds 70, indicating an overbought condition, we should consider taking profits or reducing exposure. The portfolio will be 60% based on the trend and future direction, 20% based on the RSI, and 20% based on the Bollinger Bands. This blended approach allows for capitalizing on both momentum and volatility. Based on the historical data and forecast, XRP shows a generally upward trend. The price has been fluctuating within the range of $2.24 support and $2.35 resistance. The RSI indicates that XRP is currently approaching the overbought territory, with values ranging from 50.1 to 59.2. However, the forecast suggests a continued upward momentum, with prices expected to reach $2.39. We will implement a combined strategy utilizing RSI, Bollinger Bands, and support/resistance levels to maximize potential returns. The primary strategy will be a buy-the-dip approach, capitalizing on temporary pullbacks. We will enter a long position at $2.29 when the price touches the support level of $2.24 and the RSI dips below 50. The stop loss will be set at $2.23, just below the support level, to mitigate potential losses. The initial target price will be $2.37, aligning with the forecast and the upper Bollinger Band. If the price reaches $2.37, we will consider moving the stop loss to break even and setting a secondary target price at $2.39, based on the forecast. This combined approach balances risk and reward, aiming for high returns while protecting against adverse price movements. Based on the historical data and forecast, BNB shows a slight upward trend, consistently trading between the support price of $641 and the resistance price of $664. The RSI fluctuates around the midpoint, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions. However, the forecast for the next week predicts prices around $660 to $666, suggesting continued upward momentum. We will implement a strategy combining RSI and Bollinger Bands for optimal returns. The RSI strategy will focus on entering long positions when the RSI dips below 20, and exiting when it reaches 80. The Bollinger Band strategy will look for buy signals when the price touches the lower band and sell signals when the price touches the upper band. Combining these two strategies, we will enter a long position at $660, set a stop loss at $653, and target a price of $666. To maximize returns, we will implement a portfolio strategy that prioritizes the upward trend indicated by the forecast. We will enter a long position at $660, placing a stop-loss order at $653 to limit potential losses. Our target price will be $666, aiming to capitalize on the predicted upward movement. This strategy leverages the combined signals from the RSI and Bollinger Bands, ensuring a balanced approach to risk management and profit maximization. The overall strategy is designed to capture the anticipated gains while mitigating downside risks, aligning with a high-returns investment approach. Based on the historical data and forecast, Solana shows a slight upward trend. The price has been fluctuating between the support of $141 and the resistance of $152. The RSI values are generally between 40 and 55, indicating neither extreme overbought nor oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been widening recently, suggesting increased volatility. Considering this, I propose a moderately bullish strategy. We will enter a long position when the RSI dips below 45 and the price touches the support level of $141. The entry price will be $141. The stop loss will be set just below the support level at $138 to protect against a potential downside reversal. The initial target price will be the resistance level of $152. To refine this strategy, let's incorporate the Bollinger Bands. If the price touches the lower band, around $133, and the RSI is below 45, it signals a potential buying opportunity. We'll enter a long position at $133. The stop loss will be placed slightly below the lower band at $130. The first target will be the middle band, around $146, and the second target will be the upper band, around $158. This combined strategy, leveraging both RSI and Bollinger Bands, offers a balanced approach to capitalize on the observed trend while managing risk effectively. This portfolio will be the most efficient of the three strategies. Based on the historical data and forecast, TRON shows a slight upward trend. The price has been fluctuating within the range of 0.282 support and 0.298 resistance. The RSI has been oscillating around 50, indicating a neutral momentum. The Bollinger Bands have been narrowing recently, suggesting a period of consolidation. Considering the forecast prices, TRON is expected to continue its upward momentum, potentially testing the resistance level. Therefore, I recommend a long position with an entry price of $0.288. Place a stop-loss order at $0.282, just below the support level, to limit potential losses. The target price for this long position will be $0.298, which aligns with the resistance level. To maximize profit, consider taking partial profits along the way. For example, sell half of the position at $0.29 and let the remaining position run towards the resistance. This strategy combines trend following, support and resistance levels, and RSI and Bollinger Band signals to generate high returns while managing risk effectively. This is a high-risk, high-reward strategy suitable for experienced traders. Based on the historical data and forecast, Doge-Coin shows a slight upward trend with price fluctuations. The RSI values have been oscillating around the 40 to 50 range, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been narrowing recently, suggesting a period of consolidation. The support price is consistently at $0.163, while the resistance is at $0.172. Considering these factors, I recommend a moderate long-term strategy. We will initiate a long position at $0.165, placing a stop-loss order at $0.163 to limit potential losses. The initial target price will be $0.172, aiming to capture the breakout through the resistance level. To refine the strategy, we will incorporate RSI signals. If the price drops and the RSI falls below 30, indicating an oversold condition, we will enter a long position at the lowest price, setting a stop-loss at $0.158 and a target price at $0.171. Conversely, if the price rises and the RSI exceeds 70, indicating an overbought condition, we will consider a short position at the highest price, with a stop-loss at $0.176 and a target price at $0.163. This dynamic approach, combining trend analysis with RSI and Bollinger Band signals, should optimize returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Cardano has shown a fluctuating trend, but with a tendency to bounce off the support price of $0.572. The RSI consistently remains below 80, indicating that the asset is not overbought, and it has dipped below 30 a few times, suggesting potential oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands show that the price is currently near the lower band, suggesting a potential bounce. Therefore, I recommend a long position strategy. Entry price will be $0.578. The stop-loss should be set just below the support level at $0.571 to mitigate potential losses if the price breaks down. The initial target price will be $0.587, near the upper Bollinger Band and just below the resistance level of $0.6. To refine the strategy, we can use a combination of RSI and Bollinger Bands. If the price retraces to the $0.572 support level and the RSI falls below 30, we can enter a long position at $0.572. The stop-loss will be $0.568, and the first target price will be $0.584. If the price reaches the upper Bollinger Band, we can take partial profits and move the stop-loss to break even. If the price continues to rise, the second target price will be $0.6, aiming for the resistance level. This layered approach allows us to capitalize on potential gains while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, SUI demonstrates a fluctuating trend with periods of consolidation around the 2.86 support and 2.9 resistance levels. The RSI fluctuates between 37.1 and 53.3, indicating neither consistently oversold nor overbought conditions. However, the forecast suggests a slight downward pressure, with prices initially around $2.88 and then decreasing to $2.83 before stabilizing around $2.84 to $2.88. Considering these factors, I propose a moderately bullish strategy. We will initiate a long position when the price touches the support level of $2.86. The entry price will be $2.86. To mitigate risk, we'll set a stop-loss order at $2.83. Our target price will be $2.9, coinciding with the resistance level. The RSI is currently around 49.3, which is close to the overbought level, so we will take profit when the price reaches $2.9. This strategy aims to capitalize on potential upward momentum while incorporating a safety net with a defined stop-loss. The Bollinger Bands also suggest a potential upward movement as the price is near the bottom band, aligning with our bullish outlook. The portfolio is 60% long position and 40% cash. Based on the historical data and forecast, Bitcoin Cash demonstrates an overall upward trend, supported by the consistently rising forecast prices. The RSI fluctuating between 54 and 65 indicates that the asset is neither significantly overbought nor oversold, suggesting a balanced market condition. Considering the Bollinger Bands, the price has been trending near the upper band, indicating a potential for continued upward movement. Therefore, I propose a bullish strategy focusing on capitalizing on this momentum. We will enter a long position at $510, setting a stop-loss at $496 to mitigate potential downside risk. The initial target price will be $520, aiming to capture a significant portion of the forecasted upward movement. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate RSI signals. If the RSI dips below 50, indicating a potential oversold condition, we'll enter a long position at the prevailing price, setting a stop-loss at $483 and a target price of $510. Conversely, if the RSI reaches above 70, signaling an overbought scenario, we will avoid entering a long position. This combined approach, leveraging both Bollinger Bands and RSI, aims to optimize returns while managing risk effectively. The final portfolio will prioritize the upward momentum indicated by the forecast and Bollinger Bands, with RSI serving as a dynamic filter for entry and exit points. Based on the historical data and forecast, Aave exhibits an overall upward trend. The price has consistently tested and bounced off the support level of $278, while approaching the resistance level of $308. The RSI values fluctuate between 47 and 60, indicating periods of neither extreme oversold nor overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands show that the price has been moving around the middle band, with occasional touches of the upper and lower bands. Considering the forecast price increasing from $288 to $306, I recommend a long position strategy. The entry price should be $288, coinciding with the first forecast price. Set a stop-loss order at $283, slightly below the recent support level, to limit potential losses. A target price of $306, aligning with the final forecast price, provides a reasonable profit expectation. To refine this strategy, I will incorporate RSI signals. If the RSI dips below 20, indicating an oversold condition, consider entering a long position at the prevailing price. Conversely, if the RSI reaches 80 or above, suggesting an overbought condition, consider taking profits or exiting the position. The Bollinger Bands can further guide the decision-making process. If the price touches the upper band, it may indicate an overbought condition, prompting a cautious approach. If the price touches the lower band, it may suggest an oversold condition, presenting a potential buying opportunity. Combining these indicators, the portfolio will be more efficient. The final strategy is to enter a long position at $288, set a stop loss at $283, and target $306. Based on the historical data and forecast, Ethena has shown volatility, trading between a support price of $0.253 and a resistance price of $0.276. The RSI consistently hovers around the 40 to 50 range, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands show a narrowing trend, suggesting decreasing volatility in the near term. The forecast for the next week predicts a slight downward pressure, with prices fluctuating between $0.249 and $0.261. Considering these factors, I recommend a cautious strategy focusing on short-term opportunities. My proposed strategy involves a combination of RSI and Bollinger Bands. We will enter a long position when the price touches the support price of $0.253 and the RSI is below 40. The entry price will be $0.253. The stop loss will be set just below the support level at $0.251 to limit potential losses. The initial target price will be the resistance level of $0.276. If the price reaches $0.276, we will move the stop loss to the entry price of $0.253 to protect profits. If the forecast continues to show downward pressure, we will consider exiting the position or tightening the stop loss further. This strategy aims to capitalize on short-term bounces while mitigating risk through strategic stop-loss placement. Based on the historical data and forecast, Uniswap shows an upward trend. The price has consistently tested the support level of $7.06 and bounced back, indicating strong buying pressure. The forecast for the next week projects a continued increase, with prices potentially reaching $8.16. Considering the RSI values, which fluctuate around 50, the asset is neither significantly overbought nor oversold. However, the Bollinger Bands suggest that the price is approaching the upper band, which could signal a potential pullback. Therefore, I recommend a long position strategy, aiming to capitalize on the prevailing upward trend. The entry price for this trade will be $7.71. Given the recent upward momentum and forecast, a conservative stop loss will be placed at $7.52, just below the recent low. The target price will be $8.02, aligning with the forecast high and providing a reasonable profit margin. This strategy combines the trend analysis, RSI assessment, and Bollinger Bands insights to maximize potential returns while managing risk effectively. I suggest allocating 60% of your portfolio to this strategy, as it demonstrates the most promising potential for high returns, and the remaining 40% can be allocated to other strategies with lower risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, Near Protocol shows a slight upward trend. The price has been fluctuating between the support price of $2.13 and the resistance price of $2.27. The RSI values generally range between 40 and 51, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions. However, the forecast for the next week suggests a continued upward movement, with prices potentially reaching $2.32. Considering the Bollinger Bands, the price is currently near the lower band, suggesting a potential bounce. Therefore, I recommend a long position with an entry price of $2.23. Place a stop-loss order at $2.13 to limit potential losses. Set a target price of $2.32, aligning with the forecast and providing a reasonable profit margin. To refine this strategy, we can incorporate RSI signals. If the RSI falls below 20, it signals an oversold condition, and we should enter a long position. Conversely, if the RSI exceeds 80, it indicates an overbought condition, suggesting a potential short position. Combining this with the Bollinger Bands, we can enter a long position when the price touches the lower band and the RSI is below 40, and exit when the price touches the upper band or the RSI reaches 80. This combined strategy offers a balanced approach, capitalizing on both momentum and volatility. Based on the historical data and forecast, Chainlink shows an overall upward trend, supported by consistently bouncing off the $13.2 support level. The RSI fluctuates but generally stays within a range, indicating neither extreme overbought nor oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been widening slightly, suggesting increasing volatility and potential for price movement. The forecast for the next week projects a continued upward trajectory, with prices reaching $14.7. Therefore, I recommend a long position strategy. Specifically, enter a long position at $13.9. Given the support level at $13.2, set a stop loss at $13.2 to limit potential losses. The target price should be $14.7, aligning with the forecast high for the week. This strategy combines trend analysis, RSI indicators, and Bollinger Band predictions for a high probability, high return investment. The expected profit is $0.8 per share. Based on the historical data and forecast, POL-Xmatic shows a slight upward trend. The RSI consistently remains below 80, indicating that the asset is not currently overbought. The recent RSI values are hovering around the 40s, suggesting a potential for further upward movement. The Bollinger Bands indicate that the price is approaching the upper band, which could signal a potential resistance level. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position strategy. The entry price should be $0.188, coinciding with the beginning of the forecast period and a recent price level. A stop loss should be set at $0.179, just below the established support level, to limit potential losses. The initial target price should be $0.197, aligning with the forecast high for the week. To refine this strategy, I will incorporate an RSI-based adjustment. If the RSI rises above 60, consider taking partial profits at $0.193 and tightening the stop loss to $0.184. If the RSI falls below 30, consider exiting the position and reassessing the market conditions. The Bollinger Bands also provide valuable insight. If the price breaks above the upper band of $0.2, consider increasing the target price to $0.23. Conversely, if the price touches the lower band of $0.164, it's a strong signal to exit the position immediately. This dynamic approach, combining trend analysis, RSI signals, and Bollinger Band confirmations, aims to maximize returns while effectively managing risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, Stellar demonstrates a generally upward trend, although with some volatility. The RSI consistently fluctuates, but recently climbed above 50, suggesting increasing bullish momentum. The Bollinger Bands show that the price has been oscillating within the bands, and the forecast indicates a continued upward trajectory, potentially reaching $0.264. Considering these factors, I propose a strategy focusing on capitalizing on this upward momentum while managing risk. The initial entry point will be $0.25 on July 9, 2025, coinciding with the forecast price. A stop-loss order will be placed at $0.241, just below the recent price floor and the lower Bollinger Band, to limit potential losses. The target price will be $0.261, aligning with the forecast price and a reasonable profit margin. To further refine this strategy, I incorporate RSI levels. If the RSI falls below 35, indicating an oversold condition, we will enter a long position at $0.238, with a stop-loss at $0.226 and a target price of $0.25. Conversely, if the RSI exceeds 60, signaling an overbought condition, we will consider taking profits or reducing exposure. The Bollinger Bands will serve as a secondary confirmation tool. If the price breaks above the upper band, it suggests strong upward momentum, potentially justifying an increase in the target price to $0.27. If the price falls below the lower band, it indicates increased selling pressure, reinforcing the stop-loss order. This combined approach, prioritizing the forecast price and incorporating RSI and Bollinger Bands, should yield high returns while effectively managing risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, Raydium demonstrates an overall upward trend, consistently bouncing off the $2 support level. The RSI fluctuates between 38.4 and 55.6, indicating periods of both oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands show a narrowing trend recently, suggesting a potential breakout. Given this analysis, I propose a combined strategy leveraging RSI and Bollinger Bands. Initially, we will wait for the price to approach the $2 support level and the RSI to dip below 20, triggering a buy signal. The entry price will be $2. We will set a stop-loss at $1.86, just below the lower Bollinger Band, to mitigate potential losses. The initial target price will be $2.29, aligning with the forecast price and the upper Bollinger Band. Subsequently, as the price approaches $2.29, we will reevaluate the RSI and Bollinger Bands. If the RSI remains below 80, we can consider a secondary target price of $2.3. This strategy combines the strengths of both indicators, capitalizing on potential rebounds from support and anticipating price movements within the Bollinger Bands. The portfolio will allocate 60% of the capital to this strategy, recognizing its high potential returns, and 40% to a conservative strategy focusing on trend following. This balanced approach aims to maximize overall portfolio performance while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, FLOKI shows an upward trend. The price has consistently been bouncing off the support price of $0.0000784 and has tested the resistance price of $0.0000980. The RSI has fluctuated between 40.2 and 61.0, indicating periods of both oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been widening recently, suggesting increased volatility and potential for further price movement. Given the forecast prices, which are consistently above the recent close prices, I recommend a long position. My strategy will be a combination of RSI and Bollinger Bands. I will enter a long position at $0.0000841. The stop loss will be set just below the support price at $0.0000775 to limit potential losses. The initial target price will be set at the resistance price of $0.0000980. If the price reaches this target, I will then move the stop loss to break even to protect profits and allow for further upside potential. The RSI is currently below 80, so there is room for further upside. The price is also near the lower Bollinger Band, suggesting a potential bounce. This combination of indicators suggests a favorable risk-reward ratio for a long position. Based on the historical data and forecast, Zcash shows a fluctuating trend with a recent upward momentum. The price has been oscillating between a support of $40.3 and a resistance of $44.2. The RSI indicates that the asset is currently approaching the overbought territory, with a reading of 55.6 on July 8, 2025. Considering the forecast, the price is expected to hover around $39.8 to $41.1. Therefore, I propose a combined strategy leveraging RSI, Bollinger Bands, and support/resistance levels. My recommended strategy is to initiate a long position at $39.8, coinciding with the first forecast price and a potential bounce from the recent low. Set a stop-loss order at $38.8, just below the recent low and the lower Bollinger Band, to mitigate potential losses. The initial target price should be $43.7, aligning with the recent high and a reasonable profit target. If the price breaks through the resistance level of $44.2, consider adjusting the target price to $47.6, based on the highest RSI value in the historical data. This combined approach aims to capitalize on the anticipated upward movement while managing risk effectively.